The only people who say CPMs don't matter are the people who have favorable CPMs.
All right.
There are people out there who are advertising with $150, $250 CPMs, and they aren't saying CPMs don't matter. It's like saying to a restaurateur, the rent you pay
We
doesn't
have
matter.
got another big brain marketer who is so focused on media buying. He is in the weeds every day, auditing hundreds of, I mean, maybe not hundreds, but many accounts every single week. Thousands. This man is down on it and into it, and he is coming to us from Tycoon Digital. I am talking about the Phil Keel. Phil, get inside this show, Phil. Get in here.
Let's go.
Yes.
Go. How's it going, guys?
Phil, brother, I have been following you. I've been watching your content on Twitter. I do have to say I am a big fan of the accent. I think you and I were related somewhere back there. You know, I know my accent sounds different now, but somewhere back there, I think that we're related. Man, I really appreciate you coming on the show. I'd love to just open this time, particularly because I'm very interested. I've been helping a friend over the past year who has a health and wellness brand. And you have talked a lot about the meta tax that is now being placed on health and wellness brands. Give us some perspective for those who aren't aware and are slinging other things on the interwebs. Describe what has been happening to our supplement brethren on the platform and what people can actually do about it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, thanks for the great intro. I need to get the Stetson. I need to get.
Yes, you do. You do, sir.
Let's go. I should have bought one. There used to be a time when Meta cared about how much text you had in your creatives. Do you remember there was the 20% text rule? And that was what we were focused on. During that moment, Meta was more bothered about how much text was in your creatives and less bothered about the data it was collecting about users on the platform. That's flipped on its head now. Meta doesn't care about your creative as much. There's a lot less ad rejections, we personally see, but Meta doesn't want to collect as much information about its users anymore for legal reasons, I presume. Yeah. So if you are advertising to a diabetic audience, for example, and a user goes onto your website, Meta can then presume that that person could be diabetic, and Meta could get in trouble for that because then it can start to target that person based on its profile, based on that person, and you can copy that across, you know, any sort of illness or disease or capability. And yeah, you know, start last year, Meta started to introduce these health and wellness tags, which were pretty, you know, there was a lot of change in the industry because all of a sudden these brands weren't going to be allowed to receive those lower funnel events, which is what, you know, how many years have we been saying just run purchase campaigns?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, you can't do that anymore. So what we're going to do, run traffic campaigns, and we're doing like 5 million a month in spend or something, you know, that's just, it's crazy. So yeah, these things came in and it's a bit of a sliding scale. How bad you are flagged or tagged or restricted. And yeah, we've had a sort of a crazy 12 months. The last 6 months have been really strong. The real headache was at the start when we had to make these changes. Yeah.
Well, I've talked to a number of friends inside of supplement health and wellness space, and I heard pretty consistently, and I guess I've heard this even outside of this industry, but I've heard, man, our CPMs doubled. I mean, I have heard that, you know, last year, 2025, CPMs doubled, and we struggled the entire year to get our hands around wrestling this enigma of what to do. I know that other people inside our industry, bright people who are very successful, would also say, brother, CPMs don't matter a lick. They don't matter at all. Why are you even paying attention to that? But maybe they're not also, you know, the owner of a brand whose CPMs doubled. And, you know, I mean, the math does have to work. What would you say to a situation like that? And you know, in contrast to other voices, CPMs don't matter at all. Is that your take, or do you think otherwise?
The only people who say CPMs don't matter are the people who have favorable CPMs.
All right. All right.
It's a great take.
It's fair enough. Fair enough.
So there are people out there who are advertising with $150, $250 CPMs, and they aren't saying CPMs don't matter because they can't. In between me looking at this topic, from the show notes and coming on this call, I had an audit in the past half an hour, 30 minutes ago, where someone showed up their ad account on the call with me and they were like $150 CPMs.
Yeah.
In between this topic coming to me and
That's
coming on this
crazy.
call, it came up in the last 30 minutes. And I had, I'm a big metaphor guy. It's like saying to a restaurateur that the rent you pay doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If the rent that increases, just make better food, have better margin. It doesn't matter. Of course, it matters.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does. And I was working with a really smart guy maybe like 5-6 years ago. He went on to sell his business for multiple seven figures, and he was an operator. He was like running the business, and he was smart enough to run the ad account. Exited, made his book, and he was straight in there like CPMs do matter because if they drop, my performance improves, my profitability improves without anything else changing. So yeah, I mean, they do matter because if you're on the wrong side of it,
Oof.
you dealt a bad hand. Yeah.
Wow. Are you like thinking about this? I know that when this first dropped, a lot of folks were talking about basically doing custom conversion events as the band-aid approach to fix this. And I don't know if that's still the case, but is there a tactical way that you talk to brands through this where it's like, okay, this sucks. I'm sorry this happens. You just know you're not alone. And or we also have kind of a workaround method for this that we're trying to deploy.
Yeah, I mean, one benefit was that because it all happened so quickly in the space of a few months, and it happened to most people all at the same time, there was so much information out there. And it we talk about like the community and the space and Twitter and Slack, and there's so much good work and bad work that goes on in the community and hot takes and whatnot. But that was really one of the good things is the knowledge of this went from 0 to 100 really quickly. And yeah, the ideas around custom events, and I've seen people using like Donate, which is a standard event, and like optimizing towards that, even though you're running purchase, which is
really
that's awesome.
I mean, it's a solution that someone's thought of and tried.
I mean, did that work?
I haven't done it, but I've seen an account where it is working.
Wow,
that's what I'm saying.
Fascinating.
There's a way. There's a will. There's a way.
Yeah, marketers will find a way. Life will find a way. It's like Jurassic Park, isn't it? The solution that we've used a few times and we've seen really work is that CAPI-Only, and so you're not firing the browser event, you're just firing conversions API, and you want purchase because that's why Meta as a platform works, because we all use these. We're all standing in a row using these standard events. And like a purchase on my website is the same as a purchase on your website, and Meta builds a profile of people who make a purchase. And as soon as you move away from that and use a custom event, Meta can't, you can't get the benefit of that standardization. Wow. So yeah, CAPI-Only still use purchase.
Wow.
That is fascinating. That is so interesting. Phil, give me some perspective. And I confess, this is new for me. This is new for me. We're typically, you always hear people talking about, well, we came in here at this point and we have scaled spend to here, and that's always it's always a marker of success, because of course we all want more spend to go out there if we can maintain at least some decent level of performance. More, please, more. We always want more spend, but it's now, I've seen it myself. One can scale spend and it looks so positive on that side, but also reach fewer net new persons each month as that same thing is happening. I was actually talking with David Herman, I believe, or somebody else like David Herman. And this was the case. It was like, look at what is happening here. And it's mind boggling for me. Why does that happen? And how does creative sameness or creative diversity either matter or not matter in that kind of situation?
So it happens because, and it happens more often than not, and it happens over, it can happen over such a slow period of time that brands don't notice. It's like I call it like the slow death of a brand.
Oof.
You know, imagine like a bricks and mortar store, and every day you get one fewer people, one less people comes through the front door. Trying to say that in a better way, and then you don't notice it at first. And over the course of 12 months, 24 months, you've got less, you're in a really bad place. Your organic following is slowing and dropping because people don't follow it. Your email list is getting smaller because of unsubscribes.
Right.
And you don't notice it. And the real issue is you can go from one Black Friday to another. And then that's when you notice it.
Oh.
Because your in-market audience is a lot smaller, your awareness is a lot smaller, your SMS list is smaller.
Yeah.
And that's when, it can kind of creep up. It happens because the ad account can get greedy with retargeting, and you can see it in your frequency. So your CPM could go up, your frequency could go up, and then CPM times frequency is CPMR. So cost, and if it's $50 to reach 1,000 people, and then over the course of a few months, it's $100 to reach 1,000 people, you've essentially got to spend double to reach the same number of people, and it can keep going. It can be like $300, $350.
My.
And then it's just a numbers game. People coming through the front door is a really important metric to think about. And the solutions. Okay, so what's the solution? CPM is always going to go up, so there's only so much we can do with that. You can control frequency with exclusions and consolidation. And then that's the ad account fix. You kind of want to get those foundations sorted, and then it becomes everything else. Product diversity, speaking to different persona, with the marketing bit, like what Sarah was just talking about, like the good you want to focus on. I've just heard today on Twitter, like maybe like landing page diversity can help net new reach. So that's what creative diversity is important. But if your CPMR keeps going up, then it's not really a problem you can solve with marketing if the meta account is greedy.
Do you have a hard and fast rule with that? With this is doubled, we really need to look at this, or is it kind of something you're just trying to feel out, or is it like, hey, this has gone up 33% in X time window, this is red flag alert, we need to talk about this?
No, I don't know. No, there is, and it's because it's so relevant to each ad account. Like CPM is so relevant to an ad account frequency. Some brands will want a high frequency because you're selling them a $5,000 bathtub. You need to keep serving.
That's true.
Just one time works.
Well, I'll buy that. Don't worry about it. It's really a benchmark against where you were. And it's really helpful to think about it when you're looking at like 12-month forecasts. So and that's why I talk about Black Friday so often, because, okay, we did 10 million this Q4. We want to do 20 million next Q4. Well, are we going to double the number of people in our funnel? Are we going to double our email list? Like it all becomes, it's just a numbers game at that point. You can't generate 20 million from the same size audience, realistically. And if your CPMR stays flat, okay, then we need to spend twice as much. If your CPMR increases, you're going to need a bigger bank. I need a bigger wallet. Yeah.
I think we could all do with a bigger bank and a bigger wallet.
And a bigger hat as well.
Bigger hat as well. Phil, tell me this. I know that you're in the weeds. You're seeing so many accounts on a daily basis. There's got to be some themes, some consistencies. Of course, there's consistencies on good practices, but there's got to be some consistent bad practices, things that you see regularly. They're like, yep, there it is again. There it is again. There it is again. What are some of those? And have they changed? Was it something different last year that you're seeing now this year? What do you see when you look at all these accounts?
The things they're not really changing, no, and they haven't done for a very long time. You know, if I think about when I was doing audits like 10, 12 years ago, a lot of them were very similar. It was like view through attribution, poor exclusions, too much activity for the budget is probably the biggest red flag. And it's something that I see quite a lot is because there's so much excellent content out there, like this show.
All right, there we go, Phil.
There's so much excellent content out there, but brands can pick up a tip from someone else who's 10 times the size of them.
Yeah.
And follow that advice. And if you can't afford their CAC, should you really be following their, you can follow their advice, but should you be doing exactly what they're doing? Like we're working with brands who are aiming for like a 0.7x ROAS. And they're behaving in a way that works towards that. And if you're a brand new brand that was set up 3 months ago, you probably can't afford that. And so often we do audits, and it's like they're too active in the account for their spend, and they're doing too much.
Yeah. Sometimes being too active is a real problem. I mean, I find it hard, of course, for myself, but especially with some of my other ad buying brethren. Sometimes the things, and they've got a founder that's breathing down their neck, who's always looking at the ad account. Like, hey, what are we doing here? I'm paying you guys this money. You're not really doing anything. Like, can we like switch it up? Like, but it seems to be like a consistent problem sometimes by not just letting the thing run and let's give it some time, see how performance improves or doesn't. It can be a real hindrance to actually finding a winning path and threading the needle forward. I mean, do you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, what we do is we try and build like a weekly cadence. So, we do this on a Monday, we do this on a Wednesday, and we do this on a Friday. And we try to remove that like emotional reactivity. And then, we launch ads every Wednesday. We scale budgets every Monday. And you can build that cadence around your budget. You could be, twice as active as that, really. But I think that's really smart. And then use that time in between those moments to do all the things that we could list. Work on the offer, outreach, DM, affiliates or creators, or just get busy outside of the account. And then when it comes back to the ad account, you've got all this extra stuff that you've done to support the work.
You almost seem like a calming hand to brands, where you're kind of like a brand therapist, where it's like, hey, let's meet next Thursday about this. We're gonna be okay. I want you to focus on the rest of the stuff you talked about today in this meeting. We'll talk about ads next Thursday. You know what I mean? It's like that soft voice that you have and the accent. It's just they're at ease. They're at ease now. And they're ready for next Thursday.
I'm loving all the compliments, guys. I mean, I think that's like the wisdom of not age, experience. Like it's the same problems for years and years and years. And it's interesting. This year, I actually think feels very similar to 2020. Remember the start of 2020 where it was just crazy.
Yeah, chaos.
And my calendar for speaking to brands is very similar to what it was like at the start of 2020.
Really?
Like very active. Yeah, there's so much buzz, so much hype. I mean, maybe we're just at like riding the AI wave now that maybe that like that's probably the biggest thing that's happened. Maybe we're 12 months behind Trump. This is completely off tangent to where this topic, but yeah, it's an interesting moment.
I'm interested to see what will happen now that the Supreme Court has labeled the Trump tariffs as illegal. I don't know if we'll have like a mini boom. I don't know, but it is more chaos for sure.
Yeah. It was good. That was, I mean, last year was really crazy. There was so much happening with the tariffs, obviously the health and wellness that we've already spoken about, like AI. It was like every week was something else happening.
Yeah, it's wild. Well, Phil, we really appreciate you making the time and coming on the show. When you come again, and I would like you to come again, will you come again, Phil?
Yes.
Okay, good. We had to get that commitment on camera.
Gotta lock
you know what I'm saying? We got to lock that in, Colin. There is a brand I know, a beloved brand I know, and I'm very good friends with the founder, and they're addicted to view through attribution. I mean, it just can't get away from it, you know. Just cannot get away from it. But I would like your advice when we bring you back, and I'd love to hear your counsel. You know, we've got the ad therapist here. Is what we have with Phil.
New name. I'm gonna take that.
You take that. Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that somewhere inside that Twitter profile. You take that.
Yeah.
Phil, we appreciate you making the time and coming on the show, my friend, and we look forward to having you again soon.
Cheers, guys.
Wow.